Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where we dive into the world of tech, explore coding tutorials, and unlock your creativity with web development tips. If you are passionate about building amazing apps, staying ahead in tech game, or turning your ideas into reality, then you are in the right place. Here you will find step-by-step guides, practical examples, and pro tips to level up your skills. Before we dive in, take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest content that could take your skills to the next level. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Alright, let's jump right in. So in today's video, we are going to create a navbar. I'm going to show you the easiest way to create a navbar in any website that you are building, and we will make it responsive to various screen sizes. Before we jump into building blocks, so let's see how it looks. So this is our navbar. You can see my portfolio. You can replace this with your logo, and then we will have the links right here. So let's see the responsiveness. So we inspect and then we scale it. You can see when it reaches medium screens, we hide the links and show this hamburger icon. And when you click this icon, you can see those links show from the side, and then you can close it. And when you scale it to larger screens, they show up. So this is what we are going to create in this video. Okay, so let's jump right in step by step. We are going to use Tailwind CSS to style this so that you can see how quickly you can create a nav. Okay, let's jump right in. What we are going to do here, we are going to create a navbar.html. So we'll say navbar.html. We close that, and here let's use HTML5 so that we can have that boilerplate. Let me give it a title of navbar. Since we are using Tailwind CSS, let's use CDN. So let's go to Tailwind CSS website. So tailwindcss.com, visit there, and then so let's click on get started. And then here we want to use, we want to spin it up very quickly, so let's use the CDN. So we are going to use the CDN. So let me get the CDN. So here's the CDN. So we are going to copy this the script. So we copy that script and as well place it inside the head tag. Okay, so once we add this CDN for Tailwind CSS, now let's start building our navbar. So let's start by styling the body so that we have that background. So let's say class. Tailwind CSS uses styling classes. So class, say background equals to gray, say it is 900. Let's have our text to be white, and then let's see how it looks. So to ensure that you can view what you are doing, ensure you have installed the live server in your VS Code editor. So install it. If you don't know how to install it, just go to extensions right here, click there, and then search above here live server. Okay, so it is right here. If you have not installed it, you can click it and install it. Once you install it, it will appear down here. So if you want to see what you are doing in your template, you can quickly click on go live. Once you click go live, it will spin and open in your style, your template inside the browser. So this is our browser. Remember, we changed our background to be gray 900. So let's continue. Let's now start doing the navbar. So let me comment this and say navbar start. Let me add this and say navbar end. So I will try to do it in two ways. You remember we had a logo on the left side, and then we had our links on the left side. So I have to create, say, nav, then I will open a div, and then inside that div, let's have the logo to be on the left side. So we say a logo, and this logo will be hyperlink. So we say anchor tag, then we say logo. Okay, then we will have two navbars. We have the desktop navbar, which shows the menu, and then we have the mobile menu. Okay, so we will start with the desktop menu. Okay, so we'll comment this and say desktop menu. This desktop menu, we are going to use an ordered list. So we say ul, and inside ul we will have our list of the links that we want. So the first link will be home or about. let's start with about, and I will copy the same. I'll copy it again and say we have about, let's say we have projects, then we have, let's say, contact. Now let's see how it looks. So if I refresh, you can see we have logo, about, project, contact, but you can see they are stacked on top of each other. They are in form of a block. So let's style these. So let's go back and start styling our nav. So we want our nav to be fixed at the top. When you scroll, our nav does not appear. So to do that, we say class equals to fixed. And then we want it to be fixed at the top. So we say top, that is 0, and then left to be 0 as well. And then we have the width. It should take the entire width of the screen. So we say width equals to full. We want to have a background which is a little bit different from the main one. So but the background, say gray, equals to 800. And then let's have a background opacity. So say background opacity be 90. Then let's have a shadow medium. Then let's have a z index of, if you want it to be raised a bit towards the screen. Okay, now let's style the logo. We had the logo here. Let's style this div, say class. We want it to be the container, and then we want to center it. So we say mx, that is margin in x-axis, say auto, and then let's have a padding x-axis, padding of 4. We also want to have padding at y-axis, so py is 4, and then we want these to be side by side, the logo on the left side and then the desktop menu on the right side. So we are going to use flex display. So we say flex, then we want them to have a space in between. Okay, so we are going to justify these. So say justify between, and then we want to center the items. So say items center, that is it. So let's see, you can see we have now the logo on the left side, and then we have desktop menu links on the right side, and you can see we have a space in between. That is the work of justify. Now let us style our logo. Since our logo is a text, so we have to give it a text size. So say text be XL, and then let's make it bold. So we say font bold. Okay, now let's style our desktop menu. As well, we want this desktop menu to be hidden in smaller screens and show up on medium screens. So we are going to say Tailwind CSS has mobile first approach, so we will have to hide it on mobile screen. So we say hidden, that is for mobile screens. And then we say if we have a screen which has a medium size upwards, that is medium large, extra large, then we want to show this desktop menu. So we'll say md, then colon, and say we want to show them in a flex. We want them to be side by side, not if we go here, you can see they are side by side. Then if I remove these, you will see they are in form of block. Okay, they are hidden. We remove these as well, so you can see they are blocks on top of each other, but we want them to be side by side. So we will use md flex, and then we want to have a space in between these links. So to do that, we will use space at x-axis and say 8 pixels. If we refresh, you can see we have these spaces in between. Okay, now let's style the links. So since the links will have the same styling, so I'm going to ensure that I style them at once. To ensure that you place this cursor the way you have placed them on 3 links, you use alt key on your keyboard, hold on your alt key in your keyboard, and then click where you want those cursors to be shown. Okay, like this. And then now let's style this. First, we want to have class. Let's add hover effect. So we say class and say hover. We want when the user hovers over the links, we want the text to change color. So we say text color changes to indigo 400. Okay, that is it. So let's see that. So you can see if I hover through the links, the text color changes. Okay, so that is it for this. So we have styled the desktop menu. Okay, one thing we need to do, since we are going to create a mobile side menu, we need to have a menu button. When clicked, it shows that mobile side menu. So below this, we are going to have that hamburger. Okay, so let me comment this out and say mobile menu button. Then here we will have a button, and inside this button, I'm going to add an SVG. You can use an icon because we also have icons that have that hamburger. So for me, I'm going to use SVG. I will paste my SVG right here. Okay, so this is my SVG for mobile, this one. So you can use any icon. Okay, so after doing that, now let's style this. First of all, we need to give it an ID. So we say ID equals to menu button, say menu btn, and then let's have a class. We want it to be block, so we say block, and as well we want to hide this button on medium screen onwards, so we don't want to show it. We only want to show it on smaller screens and mobile screens. Okay, so for example, we don't we don't want to show this icon on larger screens like this. We want it be shown on smaller screens. Okay, so to do that, we will say md and say it is. Let's have a focus. So say focus, and say outline is none. Okay, so let's check out. You can see now it is hidden, and if we go to smaller screens, let's try to see smaller screens. You can see it is being shown and the menu for desktop are being hidden. Okay, that is the logic that we want. And when you go to larger screens, you see this is shown and the icon is hidden. Okay, so that is it. Now let's create mobile side menu. So to do mobile side menu, below this nav, let's now create another. Let me comment and say mobile side menu. Let's have a div. Okay, and inside this div, let's open another div. We also need to have a button that will help us close that. Once we open that mobile side menu, we should have a button that will help us close. When you click it, it closes that menu. So we will add that button here. Say button. Then we will have that X. So I'm going to paste my SVG. So this is my SVG. This SVG is X. And the once we do that, we move on to creating our UL, an ordered list, and then have our list. Then inside our list, we have our links. So the first link to be about. So I will copy this again. So I'll copy this, paste it, and then again. So we'll have about, and then we'll have projects, and then we will have okay. We are having the same links that we have in desktop menu. Now let's style this. So we will start with the first div. So this first div, we will give it an ID. Say ID equals to mobile menu. I will show you where this ID will come in hand. So let's have a class. Let's give it a class side nav, and then we want it to be fixed. Top 0, left to be 0 as well. And then we want to have a width. We don't want it to cover the entire screen, so we will say width equals to 64. Then we say height. We want it to cover the entire height to be full. We have a background of gray, 800. Then let's give it shadow. So say shadow to be large. Then we want to give it a z index of 50. Then we want this to be hidden on screens from medium size onwards. So we will say md hidden. Now let's style this div. So in this we want to have a padding all round. We say p4. Then let's have style this button as well. Say class. Let's first give it an ID. So say ID equals to close button, and then let's now style it. Say class equals to we want it to have a text of gray 300. Then we want to give it a hover effect. So a hover effect, we want the text to be white, and then we want to have a focus effect and say outline none. Okay, so that is it. Now let's style our UL. So we move to our UL and say class. We want to have a padding of 4 all round. That is padding top, padding bottom, padding left, padding right of 4. And we want to have a space of y-axis before. So that is want to have a space on top and bottom. That is why we use y-axis. And then let's style this these links. The same if you want to style them at once, hold your Alt key in your keyboard, on your keyboard, and then click where you want to place these cursors. Okay, now let's have class and say we want them to be in block, say block, not flex. This time we want them to be on top of each other, and say text be white. And then let's have a hover effect. So we say hover. We want when the user hovers the cursor on top of these links, the text color changes. So say text to be indigo 400. Okay, so let's see what we have created so far. So this is our desktop menu, and for our mobile menu you can click here, confirm our mobile menu. So you can see we have this close button, we have the links, and you can see now what we are going to do, we want to increase interactivity, and we are going to use JavaScript so that when the user is on mobile phone or smaller screens, he has to click on this hamburger icon so that this menu can be drawn from the side, and when he wants to close it, can click on this icon X to close it. Okay, so that is where now we are going to use JavaScript. So let's go to using JavaScript. So to use JavaScript, we need to do some things. Okay, so right above the closing tag for body, we need to open our script. So let me comment it and say JavaScript for Navbar. Then let's have the script. Now we want to get elements by ID. Okay, so we'll say const, say menu button equals to, we want to get those elements, and say document dot get element by ID. Remember we gave these IDs, and say menu button. Remember we gave these IDs. Remember we gave these ID. So we are getting this ID, semicolon. Then let's get another element. So we want to say const close button equals to document dot get element by ID. So the ID is close button. Okay. So the close button, here is our close button, and remember we gave it this ID, so we are getting that ID as well. And then let's now have another one, const that as a constant, say mobile menu equals to document dot get element by ID, and say mobile. So as well we have this mobile menu is our ID. Okay, so we have this. Now let's create a function. When the user clicks on our menu button, it opens the side menu for the mobile screens. So let me give it a comment and say open side menu. Now we will have menu button. We need to add an event listener. So dot add event listener. Okay, we need to add the event listener. Which event are we talking about? We want to say click. When he clicks, that is when that side menu will show up. Okay, then open that and say mobile menu dot class list dot add. We want to open it. Okay, and say add that semicolon. Do the same here. Okay, this should not be a question mark, rather. So this is our function for opening our side menu. Let's see how it looks. So let me refresh this. Now we need to as well add some styling to it for this side menu transition. So let's go all the way inside our head here. Let's add some styling to this side navbar transition for smaller screens. So let me say this style, and then let me give it a comment and say for side navbar transition. Okay, so we are going to grab this class side nav, and say, so to grab that we need to start with dot, say side nav, then open the curly braces, and we need to start transformation. So say transform, and then we need to translate x negative 100%, and then we need to add transform how many seconds. So transition to be transform, we need to add some delay. So transform, we need to have a delay of 3 seconds. Now we also need to add how we want that to be open. So we'll say dot side nav dot open. We need to have transform translate x to b. So now let's refresh here. You can see it is not showing up. If we click here, it see showing. Close, we haven't created the function to close these when we click, but so far we have created a function to open this navbar for smaller screen. So if we click right here, it shows. So now let's create that function for closing the side now menu. So we go back to our script. Just below this function to opening the sidebar menu, we need to have a close side menu and say close button. We also need to add an event listener, so say add event listener. So easy, here's our event listener. We also want to have a click as our event listener, so say click. And then we do the same, open curly braces, then we say mobile menu dot class list, and then dot remove, and then we pass in open. So that is it. Let's now check it out. So if I refresh this, you can see if we click here, get this menu, and if we click on this X, we open, close the open. Let's see the responsiveness. You can see on smaller screens. If I adjust to larger screens, then the menu turns desktop menu. Okay, so that is how you create a navbar in a simplest way using Tailwind CSS for styling. So that is it for this video. If you find this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and also subscribing to the channel so that whenever I upload a new video, you don't miss and you will be the first one to get notified. Bye bye. See you in the next video.